evening. Welcome to Investigator News. Sorry for scratchy. This is a special report. Boy, of terrorism around the world today. And I'm going to try to stay calm. I'm very pissed off. Very pissed off. And I'm going to bring you the worst of the worst today. Lock your doors. Are we seeing an Islamic World War III around the globe? Yes, we are. Well, I want to start off with something happened to me today. A third grader walking by my house, double flips off the American flag, pulls his pants down, and moons the POW flag. I told him, go home. Tell your parents you're wrong. I got the video of what they just did. And then I said, go home, you communist. Was I wrong to tell a third grader this? What are these parents of Hamas terrorism teaching our kids? Be mad. Be very mad. The leader of Hezbollah has been talking for more than an hour, because I did this earlier today, discussing the initial massacre on October 7th in southern Israel. Not surprising. Praising Hamas for the killing of their own people, Palestinians, and Islamic Jihad for heroic efforts. Those efforts were the slaughter of women, children, civilians in their homes. Not just Jews, not just the Jewish, not just the Americans, but their own people. But it cuts to the core of ideology of the leader of Hezbollah. Hezbollah is leading. Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran, China, Russia is leading the war of Islamic war, World War III. A dark warning to the world. This is what he said, the Hezbollah leader. His first comment since the war began between Israel and Hamas, the terror chief says. His militia is ready for, quote, all possibility at a moment's notice around the world. Wake up! That the group is not intimidated by U.S. warships stationed throughout the Middle East, and that if a larger war breaks out, Americans will, quote, pay the price. Wake up, America. This is going to be something you want to subscribe to our channel. This is something you want to share. I don't care if you subscribe. You need to share this show tonight. I'm mad. I'm pissed. I don't know whether to cry or bang my fist or tell that kid to go home and tell his parents they're communist. Islamics, Arabs have just declared war on America. Are you hearing him? Can you hear? Wake up. Wake up, America. Wake up, Democrats. AOC, the squad, go to hell. Go to hell. You're evil. If you're going to support these people, go to hell, because that is evil. Yes, I'm mad. Yes, I missed yesterday, and I'm not even going to go in why. Because yesterday I started gathering this info, and today I'm going to hit both barrels. I called William earlier. I said, boy, this is it. This is a show. His militia is ready for, quote, all possibility as a moment's notice. America, quote, will pay the price. Hello? We have been engaged, according to Israel, rocket and mortar fire from southern Lebanon, northern Israel, Hezbollah. They have been doing attacks. Is this the first time? No. Is this the 10th time? No. Is it dozens and dozens and dozens of times? Yes. We cease fire. Israel cease fire. And what do? They build it up and they attack again. Oh, cease fire, cease fire. Oh, our poor people. The only thing left is not poor people. It's militants. These are militants and Islamics that hate America and hate Israel. Hate to America, hate to Israel. Hello? You hearing? You hearing this? Hezbollah ramping up attacks against Israel forces responding in airstrikes in southern Israel. A question about how much Lebanese militant Hezbollah stands to get involved in the battle? Lots. Why? It's being funded by Iran. Israel's are operating, looking to destroy any places that Hamas, Hezbollah militants could hide. Also destroy tunnels, exits, where Hamas has been ambushing Israel forces. Israel says ultimately what they found was weapon storages. They found tunnels here to the far northwest end of Gaza Strip, 300 miles worth. Israel said what they did was neutralize that tunnel and weapon storage. Gaza City is now surrounded by Israel forces. The fighting is described as face to face. Very dangerous, very bloody, urban combat. Biden's call for Israel, pause, means he's jumping ship. Hello, he's jumping ship. On our ally, another with now Hamas defies a ceasefire. An excerpt reads that a ceasefire means to Hamas is the chance to repeat October 7th again and again and again and again and again, just like they've done before, over and over and over and over again. Israel's done. The president of Israel's done. Bibi Netanyahu is done. If we do this, it's a repeat of October 7th, another day. Humanitarian aid gaining steam on the Western Front is Hamas merely an opportunity to reload. There's nothing humane about this. There's nothing humane about pressuring Israel to leave a genocidal enemy in power on its border. The newest revelation. Hamas, Hezbollah, they're using gas. Yes. That's against Geneva Convention. They're gassing. Who are they gassing? Wherever they can. Hamas and Hezbollah both got it. Blinken was shown more videos that was sent to Israel leaders by who? Hello? Hamas and Hezbollah. About brutal killing, just way worse than October 7th. Way worse. They're just pouring gasoline on people and setting them on fire. They don't care. Well, babies, young, it don't matter. They're putting them in a room and throwing grenades in there. And it's not just Jews, but Palestinians, their own supporters. You know, ones that stand up, yeah, waving their little flags. Death to America, death to Israel. Their own people. Let's get into the heart of the matter. How much danger is the United States in? Death to America, remember? Yeah, If we don't back off, guess who pay? Americans. Isn't that what Hezbollah leader just said? It's been like that for decades, folks. Decades. 2009, when Obama decided to let Muslims, oh, peaceful, peaceful. No, they're not. And I'll show you why. 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. I'm mad, folks. I'm mad. I wrote this when I was mad. So I'm going to go as slow as I can. I'm pissed. And I hope by the end of tonight, the end of this show, you're either going to be pissed or you're going to be scared. Very scared. 10 years ago, during the beginning of the Arab Spring, I warned that the rise of violence in the Middle East would soon cascade into every American citizen, every American city. When you take Marxist and you combine it with radical Islam, what do you get? Hateful Marxists, hateful Islamics, hateful Muslims that want to kill anybody that's not a Muslim. Those two forces, what's happening here, and not just here, whole world, wake up. I know I've got people that watch from all over the world. Time to wake up. I'm not just yelling at the people in the United States. I'm yelling at the whole world tonight. The whole world has imploded. It's just not happening to poor people. Muslims, Islamic Muslims don't care if you're poor or rich, whether you're homeless, you're millionaire, zillionaire, billionaire, whatever heir. They don't care. They care when they get the money from them, the millionaires, zillionaires. Even Hillary Clinton says, don't do it. Don't cease fire. They are only going to build up and they're going to come after us. Wow. Thank you, Hillary. For once, I agree with Hillary Clinton. I hate the woman. I don't like her. I don't like what she did. Here, I don't like that she murdered. But for once, Ellie agrees with Hillary Clinton. And Karen will tell you, boy, that's not easy for Ellie to say. This is coordinated over 10, 20 years ago. Not only was I right, but I was also wrong. Because it was the beginning of the Middle East. And when I didn't see that during the Bush administration, when we had Iraq War, Desert Storm 1, Desert Storm 2, Afghanistan, did we cripple and totally make it so easy for the Islamics to take over the Middle East. And I really thought that the Middle East went dormant. And again, partly due to the failure of a presidents. I'm sorry. Bush, Biden, Obama, Democrat politicians, all weak. They are evil and they can just go to hell. We are striking. They are striking at us again at this time. Not this administration. Well, yeah, they are. But the Muslim Islamic terrorism that has taken over the Middle East. The violence and the evil, cold-blooded evil demonstrated by Hamas against Jews last month is beginning to ferment throughout the eastern, I'm not even going to say the eastern, western. It has fermented around our globe. I never imagined, after hearing my great aunt being gassed in Germany, I never imagined that we'd see this again. I would see swastika and Jewish Star of David on storefronts to attack Jewish people and Christians. Families and seemingly ordinary Americans alike. New York City. A doctor, get this, posting on social media that this wasn't terrorism, it's a revolution of liberation. That's what the media is saying. A revolution of liberation. Of what? Terrorism? Islamicism? Muslimism? It goes back thousands of years. This, folks, understand this. This isn't a political war. This isn't a Hamas versus Israel war. This is a spiritual warfare. It's a religious war. Don't you understand? Iran doesn't care about political. What have they been pushing for decades? A religious war. It's all about religion. And if you don't wake up and understand this, the swastikas are here. The Star of David, and then putting on buildings all over. Colleges, look at what's going on. When you start seeing swastikas and people marking buildings in New York City, what? Attack them. We're hunting Jewish and Christians. What the hell? I'm worried this is a time of uprising in the Middle East that could be the final battle that we're seeing. And I'm going to show you signs. Several powerful nations are gearing up for a worldwide battle. Did you not realize that? So yesterday, Prime Minister Netanyahu made it clear the position regarding ceasefire, as the United States would not agree to a ceasefire after bombing Pearl Harbor. This is what Netanyahu said, okay? The United States would not agree to a ceasefire after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, after the terrorist attack of 9/11. Israel, not either. The hostilities with Hamas after the horrific attacks of October for the umpteenth time, but they never went in and slaughtered evilly, immoral slaughter of all people that weren't Islamic Muslims. And they want a ceasefire. Calls for Israel to cease fire. We're calling for Israel maybe to surrender to Hamas. Are you flipping joking? Surrender to terrorism, to surrender to barbarism? That will not happen, ladies and gentlemen. There is a time for peace and a time for war, he said. This is a time for war. And it says so. Where? According to Netanyahu in our own Bibles, in the Quran, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you are white, black, purple, pink, gay, straight, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, China, Japan. It don't matter. It don't matter who you are. It's the Muslim rule, according to the Quran, in the final battle. War makes people uncomfortable because they don't like to see dead people. They don't like seeing dead people on any side. And people are very squirmish. They want to sympathize and say, well, maybe if we be nice, maybe peace. It doesn't work with these folks. It doesn't work with terrorism. There is no mercy in terrorism. I told you about this the other day. And it's uncomfortable for everybody to talk about this war because who's innocent and who's guilty? But this is really bad. If you are Jewish or Christian, not only are they being killed in their homeland, they're watching an unprecedented rise, not of anti-Semitism, but hate all over the world. And who do they hate? Everybody but themselves. Now, if you want to get into the Bible, if you're a Christian and watching, and you've read the Bible, you might think Gog Magog. Well, I don't know. I don't really want to biblicalize this. They have the Quran has a very real meaning for Jews or anybody else or Christians. Speaks of great armies descending upon Israel from multiple directions. This isn't Muslims, folks. This isn't me. This is what the belief of Hamas and Hezbollah, Iran, any of them believe. BRICS. They all believe in this. The great armies descending upon Israel from multiple directions. For them, this is real. If you're a Christian, you've probably not only know about this, you've read about it. Iran called this, get this. Oh boy, folks. Leader of Iran, get this. This is the final battle of Armageddon. Wake up. Christians will understand this. Rest don't. Maybe not. Muslims do. It'll involve the entire world descending on the same spot that is now full-fledged war. And if you don't think it's possible, you haven't been paying attention. These aren't bedtime stories, folks. If you're a Christian, Jewish, Muslim, this is very real. And I don't want to have to sound like a warmonger or out to scare you. I'm out to wake you up tonight. Not just us, around the world, around the globe. I know we have Palestinians that watch. Wake up. Wake up. Because if you're not on their side, we're gone. You're gone. I don't know if I would fight for Egypt or, I don't know, Ukraine, any of them. I will fight for Israel. Unfortunately, my family is Jewish. I'm a target, folks. I don't care. I'm ready. I'm ready. I want to be able to defend myself. I want Israel to be able to defend themselves. I'm concerned that if we stay with the Democrats on their side of this, and I'm not saying this is a war or any time of that we're going to be attacked tomorrow. Maybe, maybe not. But this is serious. And what's currently happening, we're told we won't know. If you're a Christian or Muslim, we're told we don't know the hour. Well, if you don't pay attention to that, the seriousness of this, what happens? What happens when Israel wipes out Hamas and Hezbollah? You don't think Iran is going to stand up and start shooting nukes? Why do you think they're just playing with it? Because they have to get as many nuclear weapons as they can. Oh, yeah, but they can get nuclear weapons. That's right. North Korea, China, Russia, BRICS. You know what? Just pay attention to what's happening in Ukraine. Just pay attention to um, listening to the news of them putting this smoke screen. In the meantime, they're all getting together and they're all getting weapons to where they need the weapons. Is this the hour? Mm. All this plays out around the world, and it may look very different in a few years to come. Let's start at the beginning. Where do we currently stand despite um, most of West Iran, Russia, China? Basically, everyone is trying to get Israel. And we're down to a ground invasion in Gaza yesterday. Israel Defense Minister said Hamas has two choices: surrender to the IDF or die. Isn't that what they're saying to us? Israel's only saying it to Hamas and Hezbollah. Hamas and Hezbollah, with the backing of Iran, is saying it to the world. Israel has every right to dismantle Hamas and kill every terrorist that is threat to them. But if it wasn't for the president of Israel and Bibi Netanyahu, they're the only ones standing up to these terrorists and to Iran and to the terrorism around the globe. The only two. The only two willing to stand up for the globe. Who else is? I don't see anybody. U.S. is, well, maybe. Yeah, UK, well, we're having protests. Well, no, that's terrorism taking over, and I'll get to that. Europe, well, I'm going to talk about Turkey in a little bit, but what about NATO? Where's NATO on this? Oh, no, let's not look at that. Australia, quiet. Indonesia, they got to worry about Taiwan. As we kept all of this busy with Ukraine and Israel, China's building up, and Taiwan saying, hey, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. No, we're not worried about you just yet. China hasn't attacked. China's bumping us. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hey, let's send money to Ukraine, where it's now proved that all this money over the last year has been blown on them. It's not even going to military equipment. It's not even going to humanitarian aid. They're just putting it in their pockets. Corruption, they say. We'll cut them off. No. But Joe Biden says they need more money. What does Zelensky's wife need a new $1,000 purse? Maybe she needs a new $10,000 outfit. What the hell? So is it wrong for these two men to stand up in Israel, to stand up in Jerusalem and say, hey, if no one else is going to do it, we're going to protect the world? The IDF has opened up a multitude of a front invasion on the force of Gaza. So far, they say they're moving very slowly. 200 hostages. Do you think they're alive? I don't. Maybe a few that they're going to turn over to get what they want. They want gas. They want gas. Why? So they could power up their electric system? For what? Not their people. They're using their people as human shields. They're killing their own people, cutting off their heads. Yeah, cutting off the heads of the babies of their own Palestinian people. Oh, yeah. It appears Israel is giving Hamas a chance to negotiate the release. This is going to be bloody, brutal. And Israel predicts the entire operation to dismantle Hamas, Hezbollah, and now Iran proxies, months. Could be a year. And it's going to be bloody. Well, Hamas has built expensive tunnel work to fight this war. And to give you an idea, the IDF is looking at, you know what? I'm going to show you a video. And it'll give you a good idea. It's about 2 minutes long. And it was put out the last few days. It's been shown. I'm going to let it just kind of explain itself. When they build tunnels, get this, under hospitals, under schools. Just today, a kindergarten was blown up because they were trying to take out reporters. All right, I'm just going to let you watch this.
Proving that Hamas uses hospitals as terror infrastructures. Hamas has turned hospitals into command and control centers and hideouts for Hamas terrorists and commanders. Additionally, I can confirm that according to the intelligence we have in our hands, there is fuel in hospitals in Gaza. I repeat, there is fuel in hospitals in Gaza. And Hamas is using it for its terror infrastructures. This is the Shifa hospital. You can see where it locates in Gaza City, the largest hospital in Gaza. It has over 1,500 beds, 4,000 staff, and now it has also more people around the surroundings of the hospital. The red buildings, as I mentioned, are buildings that Hamas is using, meaning he does his command and control in different departments of the hospital, like the Röntgen room and others. He uses these places in order to do command and control for terror activities, launching rockets, etc., etc. Hamas also has an entrance to those terror tunnels from inside the hospital wards, meaning from different places of the hospital, you can go into an underground tunnel that will provide you shelter. This is an illustration of Shifa Hospital and the underground facilities. I want to repeat, this is only an illustration. We will not share here the true material that we have in our hands. This is only an illustration. Hamas uses Shifa Hospital as a shield for Hamas terror infrastructure. Hamas wages war from hospitals. By operating from these hospitals, Hamas not only endangers the lives of Israelis, civilians, but also exploit innocent Gazan civilians as human shield. Shifa is not the only hospital, it is one of many. Hamas' use of hospitals is systematic. When medical facilities are used for terror purposes, they are liable to lose their protection from attack in accordance with international law.
So I hope you heard that. I hope you heard that recording. And where did we learn this? Because that's what they did in Syria. The tunnels under Syria by Hezbollah. ISIS. Boy. Oh boy. Hamas builds their headquarters directly underneath the largest hospital in Gaza tunnels. Sprawled out from there, connecting territories and terrorists to planning rooms, barracks, logistics, and other parts of the city. You remember the video or the recording they had? Hamas saying, we blew up that hospital. Oh, oops. Oops, you blew us up. It was some type of that video. I don't have the quote. Why? Because it shook underground. Did it cause damage underground? We don't know. Hamas will never let us know. The terrorists are planning everything underground. That's why it's so important. It's going to be a very long war. And these underground tunnels with these underground bunkers and these underground things, it's where they're holding the hostages. And of course, the IDF isn't going to send a missile onto a hospital. Of course not. Hamas will. Hamas knows the innocents will die to be able to kill the bad guys for Israel. They have declared a second stage of war. But it also the second stage for Israel enemies. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan warned that there is now a surprise, elevated risk of the border in the Middle East conflict. Even the whole Middle East is in danger, they say, of Jewish and Christians, anything other than Muslim Islamics. But it's no secret who the main culprit will be, said Jake Sullivan. The president of Iran just recently warned if Israel continues its movement into Gaza, it quotes, may the force of everyone to act, he said, the quote of the crimes, the term axis of evil. But the Iranians have doubled this axis something. It's a different name, and the axis of resistance, I believe, is what it's called. And what does it mean? What does it mean when asked? They say, Christian, no. The Christians know. Allah Akbar. It's Gog and Magog. That's not political. That's not you and my territory. This isn't a civil. That is biblical, folks. Anybody go listen to that? Does anybody really? Does the media really go listen to what Iran says? They're saying this is not just a war that we hate Israel. Oh, we don't like what they've done to Hamas and Hezbollah or Palestinians. We hate Jewish, Christian, any other religion that is not ours. They have been saying this for decades. They've been saying it for decades. The Middle East is reaching a tipping point, and that the violence would then cascade to Europe, then eventually here to the United States, and the mask would come off. How? They say Marxists, and radicals, the antichrists, authoritarians, and maybe even gay people would work together with the Islamics. A prediction, the return of the caliphate all over the world. That's their words, not mine. I quoted it, and I was mocked. In fact, I lost my first channel. Karen knows I lost my first investigator news because of this. The caliphate say they couldn't have planned it better, but ISIS is what helped. We're seeing the stage, the left power, a power grab that Iranian, Islamic, Nazis soon filled the globe. We first seen their terrorism throughout Iraq and Yemen, Syria, Judea, Gaza, all the way to Israel front and the back doors. And they doubled down on the attacks. They knew, they waited, they saved until they had enough and had worked agreements with Iran, North Korea, Russia, and China for an epic plan. Global pressure campaign against Israel's right. It's to claim self-defense, and it would be acceptable around the world. What do we got today? To help coordinate this global response, Marxists, radicals, anarchists, we're seeing it all fold out in real time. For the authoritarians, we're seeing China, Russia both work together to use what currently is happening to criticize Israel. But it's not just that, it's not just them, it's globally. Protests? Really? It is Islamic evil hatred walking the streets globally. Don't think of this protest. This is evil Marxist terrorism, able to walk the streets and speak what they want to do to all of us. If you're curious how far Putin is willing to see this through, he was prepared to send an army aid to Hamas. Even ordinary Russians were seen storming the airport looking for Jews, hunting them down, demanding to see a man's passport on his phone to verify, are you Jewish or are you a Christian? This isn't World War II in Germany. This is Russia, 2023. But the authoritarians, even within NATO, that appear to be joining the Axis resistance. Erdogan of Turkey announced support for Hamas. Called on Israel occupier. Now let me ask you a question. Turkey's in NATO, isn't it? I don't know what NATO means anymore, but Turkey is NATO. And Israel go to war with, if Turkey was to, Israel to condemn Turkey, wouldn't Turkey be basically protected by NATO? Doesn't this bring Europe in? Think about that. Who else is over there? Well, Britain's over there. United States is over there. Australia, I don't know. They're hanging back. But it doesn't matter. All the allies with us over there. Islamic all over the world. Some countries like Germany, they're so freaked out, the police are working for them. Get this. There was pictures of missing Islamics to show that, and information about what Hamas and Hezbollah are doing. And Germany police and the Germany police were taking all that info down so it wouldn't be seen. Why? because it's riling up the Islamics in Germany. So many are Jewish in Germany, and they're having to hide. This isn't 1942. This isn't World War II. But it's not just the Jewish people. They're hunting Christians. Hundreds and thousands are taken in the streets in France, going after the homes of the Jewish and the Christians, going after Jewish and Christians, and posting the Star of David, if not swastikas or X's. Really? Really? Is it, now, just wait a minute. Didn't we just hear Democrats saying, oh, the Republicans and Christians are all white supremacists or KKK? Well, that's not what we're seeing. It just flipped. Well, all of a sudden they shut up, huh? Oh, I don't want to talk about that no more because I called off a few offices today. Oh, we don't want to talk about that. You know, when they want to pin the Star of David on the homes of Christians, really? What about a swastika? Why? Because we're Christian? And they're talking about having the colleges and universities start spreading out and doing it here too. Wake up. In New York, they attacked Jews. American universities are an absolute cesspool for the hatred of it. Was Christians for a while, remember? Now it's Jewish people. Let's add them in too. When are they going to add the rest of the religions? Why? Because the Quran says so. The Quran says no. When they move in, everybody but them will rule the world. I'm sorry, I can't say I'm anti-Semitism. It is a hatred of Jews and a lot, Jews and Christians and other religion. I don't care if you're Hare Krishna, whatever. If it's not a Muslim religion, you're done. How many universities? How many universities are doing this? How many cities are having these um, Islamic terrorist threats? Saying, "Hey, guess what? You know what? It's so easy for them to move in and make a hostage situation out of the universities. These are our kids. I get them out, folks. Right now, just, you know what? Just get them out. If you're Jewish, you're Christian, or just don't approve of what's going on, get your kids out of these colleges. It's an easy roundup. Just surround the college, and quite a few Palestinians that are upset. They take the whole campus hostage. What are we going to do about it? What's Joe Biden going to do about it? Well, you want money? You want money, honey? William, I don't know. I don't know if I'm wrong on this, but I'm starting to see something here. And I'm going to go on. Palestinians have got one of the biggest education system there is in the United States. They radicalized it. Modern day Hitler youth, our children and the Palestinian children, the same kind of teaching. It's happening. Radical leftists like Judith Baker have been preaching this crap for over a decade. She says the understanding of Hamas, social movements is the best thing for it, that are progressives, and that on the left are a part of global left is extremely important, she said, and does not stop from being a critical of certain dimensions like both movements. It doesn't stop to those who are interested in nonviolent politics, but from the raising of the question of the kids, whether there are other options besides violence, not really. It's critically important engagement. I mean, certainly there should be entered into the conversation. And I think the left would be the best to push this through to the kids. Boycotts and divestment procedures are again maybe essential to any component that exists for this movement. Now, this is what she said. And she's a big time in charge of the schooling of our kids. Well, you know the scary thing about it? She was running all around the United States doing this with all of our educators in 2006. It started. I caught her. She was saying it out in the open. Everybody knew about it. And then Obama went in. He was okay with it. He liked her. She just said that fully designated terror groups are, or a quote, social movements that are progressive part of the global left. And she admits that the violence, it's okay, by any means necessary. I mean, we have the same goals, the goals of the people that are radicalizing our children. We need this. Hamas progressive, really? And our kids, really? There's actually a group called, get this. Now I'm going to say, wake up, folks. Okay, there's actually a group called Queers for Palestinians and for Hamas, to protest for Hamas. Actually, you know what they're doing? They're morons. Now, I don't want to hurt no one's feelings. They're being manipulated by radical leftists in coordination with Islamics. I told you this would happen. I told you. I've been telling you. This for the LGBTQ whatever community. They're now supporting Hamas. These are misguided kids who are ripping down posters. They're kidnapping and they're beating up Jews and Christians. There was a sermon in right about a year ago in Michigan called, and it was in an Al-Aqsa mosque in Jerusalem. And they said they hate homosexuals. They will kill homosexuals. Do not tolerate homosexuals. And they sang a little prayer. We will eliminate homosexuals. You getting the point? Throw them off buildings, set them on fire, kill them, he said. Really? Wake up, you. Wake up. Wake up. LGBTQ, whatever. You don't realize that? Oh, yeah, we're all for Hamas. Yeah, Allah Akbar. They don't like you. It's in their own teachings, their own religion, their own politics, their own hatred. You really think they give a crap about you? You don't believe me? They just did it to a few. Their own commander, 2016, his crime was being gay. So they tortured him and killed him. Another gay Palestinian was murdered in the streets of Judea on the West Bank, Hamas territory, the area governed by the Palestinian Authority. What they did to him isn't really unclear, but it wasn't pretty. This isn't a regional phenomenon. This is merely Hamas or Palestinians' belief. This is Islamic belief. The people are not just Muslim, they are Muslim Islamists that believe Sharia law needs to be applied. Sharia law needs to be the law of all lands, they say. Just like it is in Gaza, the West Bank, Iran. And Iran said, and we are proud of our newest country, of Michigan, USA. Yeah, yeah. Michigan, USA, their new country. What just happened there? We will we defend against Michigan? Why Michigan? Huh? Will we defend the oppressed whenever they are oppressed? Whenever they are, it doesn't mean we will defend those who believe in and this is what this guy is saying. We will not defend any country, state, globally that believe in gay rights. We're not going to have a rainbow hijab, you know? And they did a little prayer. Those aren't rights. We're close to the top of the mountain, he said. A revolution liberating the world of all, the return to the master I am Mahai. We're close to. That is okay. Get a couple of things here. Our Dearborn, Michigan. They don't believe in LGBTQ rights. And if they do, they will be murdered. They are not a progressive. They sure the hell are not a social movement. This is a part of the global left. You can imagine that one preacher that would have said that a Christian, a Jew, what left would do that to a person? So get this, that guy that was speaking, he claims to be, he's okay with Christianity and kind of sort of on Jewish, and just said this. What'd he say? He's going to kill anybody that's homosexual or gay. What is all over these campuses, folks? Yeah, the rainbow flags. Let's put the rainbow flags all over the list. Let's make it a big thing. Let's do the transgender bathroom. Listen, you don't think that isn't part of the plan? William, am I wrong? It sounds like a place. It has all these kids, all these rainbows, and they could totally surround it and take over a campus and have a hostage situation. That's how they work. That's how they work. Isn't that what they did October 7th? Yeah, they killed a bunch of people and took a bunch of hostages. Yep. This is radical teaching and lies and hatred. They're being mobilized around the globe. I spoke to you years about this, that it would be on our doorstep. And how did I say it? When I seen the Muslims in the UK and they had no-go zone, I said, no, these aren't peaceful Muslims. Karen, do you remember? I said, no, they're not peaceful. These are radical Islamists. Because one guy that was standing out and everybody had him on their news show, oh, how peaceful they are. He was the biggest radical Islamic and killing Jews and Christians for a decade. And oh, yeah, he's a peaceful Muslim. Yeah, we like him. Pat him on the back. Give them a lot of money. Now, a video is saying the return of the Mahdi, the 12th Imam, was close. So who is this Mahdi? Who is it that the 12th Imam? This is the prophecy for those in Iran. 12th verse, the 12th of the Bum. Let me hasten the world. Let me hasten the return of the promised one. Well, the promised one leads to the end of days, the days of blood and glory. This is the 12th Imam that I ran out of the Quran. Same story is, if we look at this, their good guys is our bad guys, and our good guys is their bad guys. His sermon, though, what's going to come after Israel invades Gaza? Serious. They're going to come after the return of the 12th of the Imam. And the only way you can hasten the return of the Imam is to wash the world in blood and kill every Jewish, Christian, or un-Muslim. That's in the Quran. That's their belief. That is the Muslim Islamic's belief. I studied the Quran very deeply because I wanted to know about this. And Jewish says this is a war of terrorism in a way, but it's a biblical terrorism because the Islamic are looking at this biblically or religiously. For them, this is a holy war. They have been planning this for a very long time. The axis of resistance is telling the world who they are. And are we listening? No. So I'm telling y'all to wake up. Wake up. They're showing us what plan they're going to do. I'm going to be called an anti. I don't care. I'm Jewish. Am I anti them? No. I thought there were peaceful Muslims. And then I started reading the Quran and found out, oh, wait a minute now. Even a regular Muslim is bound to this 12th Imam. Imam, I think is what it's called. I might be pronouncing it wrong. I don't know how this ends, folks. And anyone that's going to tell you they know how this ends, they're a flippin' liar. Nobody knows. I don't even think Iran knows. This is a holy war to them. This is the final end for them. To us, it's to us and the news media and everybody else. Oh, this is just Israel having a little tiff with a few Islamists, terrorists. No, that Iran takes us much deeper. I had someone say, "Why don't we just go after Iran?" We can't. We can't. Why? Well, Obama and Biden made it very secure that we're going to give them money. Just give them money. And let them make what they're going to make. Let them give whoever they want to give to. And we're not going to do anything. We're weak. We're not weak. They're weak. This administration is very weak. And call me an anti. But these are the seeds of the Holocaust. We thought the Holocaust was done. And when a flower goes full bloom or a fruit and it drops its seeds and you think, okay, well, nothing's going to grow out of that. Well, then, lo and behold, the next season, the seeds grow. Well, I think that's what happened. This is the seeds of the Holocaust. Are we running out of time? I don't know, because I don't know how this ends. But for them to wipe out an entire race and a religious group, and they said they're coming for us. I believe them. There's millions of them on our streets all over the world. If you've not looked at the TV, protests here, protests there, protests here, protests, um, more over here, more killing over here, and they're going to go after them over here, and there's a war over here and a war over there. All over the world. And they say in the open, and they're quoting Hitler, and they talk about killing Jewish and Christians, destroying Israel. That's their end game, folks. Take for people to understand, to mean that it's okay. And it's worked. How does this all fold into the next few months or years? I don't know. We're going to try to make sense of it all. Military intelligence have been looking at this for a very long time, and I thank God for our military. It's terrifying. Because, when I seen this a long time ago with Arab Spring and of the collapse and the takeover of Iraq by ISIS, and ISIS moved to Syria, and all of a sudden ISIS was in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and I was like, something, no, this can't be happening. In the meantime, Hezbollah and Hamas are attacking. Yeah, in Yemen, don't forget Yemen and Libya, Houthi. Yeah, it's all down there. And there's tiny little Israel right in the middle of all of it. And you notice the oil comes from there. So what is it that this is going to help besides a holy war? Well, you know where Yemen is. And you know where Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Israel and all that. The oil comes up through the canal up into the Mediterranean, and then it goes out through pretty much through Turkey, and it goes out to the Mediterranean. So there's their route. And if you go from there, where Yemen and all that is, where the Strait of Hormuz, well, then if you go a little bit further over, then there's India, and then you just go around the corner, and there's China, right? And then from China, what do you got with China getting the Straits of Taiwan? Then they want to open up the Straits of the Indonesia so they can come back around, right? And they can go up through there, and then it opens it all up for BRICS. I've told you about BRICS. And then they'd have the oil. Oil comes through there, here and there, and around there, and up the canal, and into the Mediterranean. The axis of resistance. Who is that? So Iran is the first one to say it. But it's very obvious, just a geopolitical trends. And who is now supporting that? Iran. Yeah. Well, then we're also looking at Russia and China and North Korea. Spoke of axis of resistance. And I kept hearing it, so I ran it through my Google. And I said, oh, yeah, okay, now I remember. Syria said it. Kind of like, let's make America great again, how it disturbed everybody. Well, they were hoping the axis of resistance would be the popular thing to say. But it's very obvious on a geopolitical trend who is now supporting Iran. So basically, the entire world is getting involved in this tiny little spot. Why do you say that? I told you. Turkey. Let's go with Turkey. And well, Jordan ain't going to take them. Egypt's not going to take them either. The Palestinians. And no, Iran is sending stuff to Syria, which is now going into Lebanon and Hezbollah, and it's going into Gaza. And of course, then we have us and the Brits with our ships, and we have um, Europe that's involved. Germany's involved. Um, and then we have Ukraine, of course. Is Ukraine involved? Maybe a little bit because they're thinking of even supporting it and taking Palestinians. Yeah, Russia supports it. Yemen, Africa, and even a point to South America, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So the whole world now is all around a little bitty country called Israel. And strangely, a lot of these countries are working to destroy America. The same countries that's going after that little piece of land called Israel is now working to destroy America. How? The infiltrations of the colleges, the infiltration of their churches, the infiltration of bringing, they're allowed to come in here, set up no-go zones throughout our country. And the other thing they said, strangely, yes, we're in America. Do you know if we could speak different languages? And do you know if we are from Mexico, South America, Syria, or we just come from the Middle East somewhere and we're not going to tell you if we're a terrorist or not? Can we tell the difference? Karen, do you remember when I did the faces? I had a bunch of faces of men from all over the world that were the same color. And you couldn't tell. I did like 10 of them, I think. And I did like 5 Arabs and then the rest of the world. And no one could tell the difference. Take a look for yourself. Go look. So basically, the entire world is getting involved in this tiny little spot. Before they formed the alliance, they were looking at two countries. And this is what they claim is in their Quran, that there would be armies from the north coming down. And then there was something about 4 corners. Does it start to sound familiar, Christians? The 4 corners? You see the armies of the north coming down easily. I could even see Germany and France being involved. And how you do with millions of people that are on the street, that you'll have a civil war all throughout, not only in Europe, but what about here? How many have we actually let in? A million. How easy is it for them to either take over a campus or start the Muslims to start a civil war in the United States? You have an entire generation, the Generation Z, brought up that see politicians within parliaments or Congress, or even the police in Germany, that are now willing to do the work of Islamics and or bow down or do nothing at all. It happened in Germany and during World War II, and you're looking at it in real time right now. The German people they remained silent too because it didn't affect them. He didn't think it did. They saw things happening around Germany. No, that's not going to happen here until The SS hit the streets and started gathering them up. And then they said, oh no, how long do we wait? If you remain silent, you will face dire consequence down the road. This is history. The armies coming from the north that you could see going into Israel, like from China. Honestly, I mean, somebody asked me a question. Assuming Joe Biden, I don't know, is our next president, what's going to happen? And if Trump is in there, can he turn this around? My answer, look at what happened to the world in 1 month. Look at the protests. Look at the killings. Look at the hatred of all Jewish people, all white people, all Christians. 1 month. So will a Republican president in over a year and a half be able to do anything? I don't know, but I'm scared. I'm mad. Joe Biden gets in there. All I can say is I'm getting guns. I'm Jewish, and are they going to put the Star of David on my house? They're going to put a swastika on it? Or am I going to be burnt out or have a grenade launched through my window or a Molotov? I don't know. %, okay, of kids of today say Hamas killing what and doing what they're doing and them doing here what they're doing is the best thing that should happen. This is evil. Really, they killing the babies, and when you throw that, oh, that's not true because AOC said so. Oh, Islamics don't have anything against gay people, really. 57% of this country agrees with Hamas and what they're doing. And if it has to be here when asked, well, we have Jewish and Christians here. And the Christians better not, the Christians had better stop going to church. Wake up, folks. Wake up. And the Marines. I keep an eye on the Marines, and I think it's because of William. William rubs off on me about the Marines. The Marine Forces and CENTCOM just canceled the Marine Corps birthday celebration. It's like 248 years. That never happens. Is that a warning sign, folks? If you want to know what's a warning sign, that is. And that's how, when it is? It's like the week of November 15th or so. It's one of them days in there. And they're canceling their celebration for it already? Is this a heightened state of readiness? They're expecting to get a warning order or do something, or that's an evacuate embassies. Who knows? Is it to respond here or there or where? If this invasion in Gaza continues, and Israel's wanting to dismantle Hamas, let them. because when Hamas and Hezbollah fall away, you know it's going to be Iran, North Korea, China, and Russia. Remember the axis. This is not a war, they say. It's a revolution. And I could go further into explanations. But what's the warning signs here? Well, Canada just said they have 5 ports. Not 5 ports, 5 places where drones have picked up um, uh, Arabs, they say, trying to get into the United States. And when captured, they found out they're from Syria, they're from Iran, they're Hamas, they're Hezbollah, they're Houthi, China. Many are fatigues with AK-47s. Okay, so that's our northern border. There's our southern border. Well, yeah, look at our southern border. Everybody gets to come in. Now get this, 23,000 terrorists are known to have crossed over into our country that we didn't catch. Let that wake you up. Okay, what about the Gulf? Well, Cuba, yeah, Cuba and China and Russia setting up missiles pointed right at the United States. Yeah, international waters over in the Pacific and the Atlantic that we've never seen before. What's that tell you? Well, they're in Canada, they're in the Pacific waters, they're in the Gulf. Yeah, they're on our southern border, and boy, they're in the Atlantic. Is that a being surrounded? Well, then look at all the colleges now. "30 different colleges are full of Hamas supporters and Palestinians that they can't prove whether or not they are would kill or not. They'd be willing to hurt people. Now, Linda saw it too about the Marines. Let me I hope this scares you folks, because we are hearing that ISIS with the cartel and um, terrorists, they're not saying which ones, cartels lie, are all along our border, and they're ready, and they're waiting. Ready for what? Ready for what? Missiles on Cuba, they're ready. Ready for what? Submarines off the Atlantic. It's not ours. And they said they're doing drills, and they are ready. Ready for what? Is this a World War III fixing to happen? I know me and William do the World War III report. Now, William may not agree with me on certain points on this, but I think for the most part, I think he does. Because the Muslim extremists, they're about killing anybody that's not them globally. And so I'm not just putting out the warning for the United States. I want to warn everybody. Everybody. There's people in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, and Jordan, and Mexico, Indonesia, Hawaii, China, Japan. I don't know, Australia. Am I missing anything? Europe? They may think because they support these folks that they're safe. I'm going to wave their flag and they're going to like me. No. They're going to be just like that kid I told you at the very beginning of the show. He's going to flip us off. They're going to flip us off. They're going to moon us. And then they're going to go kaboom. And we're gone. How close are we to World War III? I don't know. Are we in World War III? Well, there's that one little piece, one little country in Israel, and the world is there. I want to thank everybody for watching this. And I hope I enlightened you that we need to start looking at some protection. Am I saying don't fill the churches? No, I say fill the churches. Just be careful. Look and see who's there. New people there? I don't care what color they are. You go up and you say, hey, you're new. What are you about? What would you like to learn? Why did you choose us? Start watching. Be vigilant. And is this Gog and Magog? Could the two witnesses be the president of Israel and Bibi Netanyahu, the only two that's willing to stand up for the world? Think on it. I doubt it. I'm probably wrong on that one, but it sure seems like we're getting close. I'm a Christian, and I do believe a lot of what I read in Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Daniel, and Revelation. And when I hear the leader of Iran say Gog and Magog, time to wake up. I want to thank you all for watching. And I got trivia coming up, folks, but you got to share this. I want everybody share this. This is very important to know. I gave you a lot of info today. Info that I've been gathering for a very long time, even with the Arab Spring, when I seen the Arab uprising and I said, oh no, we're in trouble. All right, folks, take care. And you know what? Stand up for your flag. Put a flag out. Go buy a flag. I don't care. It could be a little itty bitty one. Just put it out there on your door. Put it out on your door and be proud. So with that, we'll see everyone in about 30 minutes. And we're going to have, I released all my anger now. I'm ready for some fun trivia. Bring your family and friends, play a little trivia, but share this show. Share. You hit that like button. You hit that thumbs up, folks. As many thumbs up as I can get tonight on this. As many shares as I could get. Because if we don't tell the world, and we don't stand up, and we don't try to wake people up, I don't know. I don't know what else to say.